Well, Sean Diddy Combs is due back in court today to be sentenced. He was convicted earlier this year on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Earlier this week, the judge denied his request for his conviction to be overturned.
Now his lawyers recommend 14 months or less for his sentencing. Meanwhile, prosecutors want to see the former music mogul in prison for at least 11 years. A lot to unpack. Joining us right now, we're all lawyered up this morning with defense attorney Arthur Aidala, not associated with the case, though.
Not associated, but I know many of the parties involved, and I've spoken to some of them. And, you know, it's interesting because you talk to both sides, and it's like they're talking about 2 different cases.
So let me ask you, is Diddy going to talk today?
Yeah, usually. Well, he wrote a letter last night that was submitted, and it was very good, and he highlighted, guys, what I think the judge is going to focus on. You know, there's a list of things the judge has to take into consideration in federal court, and he has to acknowledge them on the record. And because of this is what I think. Because of the nature of the crime, this is what I think. And here's the big thing. Specific deterrence. I need to sentence him so that he doesn't do this again. And I think P. Diddy's going to do fine with that. But the next one is general deterrence. I need to send a message to the United States of America that if you commit these crimes, these are the ramifications. When I represented Anthony Weiner, the congressman, at the sentencing, a much tougher judge said, I don't think you'll ever do anything like this again. And she was right. It's been a decade and nothing like that has happened. But I need to send a message to the rest of the world, and he got 20 months. I think the same thing is going to happen here. I think the judge is going to say, I believe you, what you wrote in the letter. I believe you found God. I believe you're acknowledging everything. However, the whole world is watching this, and I have to let them know that prostitution and the violence associated with it, and that's going to be key, that video we all watched. And I think that's what's going to take, put him in real peril. The defense wants 14 months. The prosecutor asked for, I think, 11 years and 3 months. But here's what you guys have to understand. The Department of Probation, they're the ones who are supposed to be neutral. They're supposed to be kind of the judge's eyes and ears. They're the ones who look at other cases and say, well, this is what's happened in other cases, et cetera, et cetera. They're suggesting, and it's just a suggestion, the judge gives 7 years. So I don't think 14 months is going to happen. I don't think 11 years is going to happen. I've always been saying it's a ±5. If the judge is really on the lenient side, it's going to be 4. If he's going to be on the harder side, it's going to be 6. But it's a brand new judge, guys. This is why we don't really know. This is his first big sentence. He got rave reviews in terms of being a fair judge. But today, I mean, I've done more of these than I could count. Your heart is just... and you don't know what the number is until at the very end, the judge says, please rise. And I've taken this and this and this and this into consideration. And my sentence is...
I've got 2 questions based off of what you said. The first is, you say, 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is. Are you talking that much time in prison or that much time in the sentence, which means you could get time off and the rest will be on probation?
Right. So hypothetically, if the judge gave him 5 years, he's already got like a year and a half in. And now there are all of these programs now, especially for a first-time offender. And if you go in there and you do drug treatment programs, which he's eligible for.
Other things.
So if he got 5 years, he got a year and a half in, he'd probably have to do another 24 months, which considering, I mean, let's not hide the fact, he beat the top counts. I mean, if those top counts were there, we would be talking about a decade, if more. So he's never going to be happy if the judge gives him any jail time, because that's human nature. But his lawyers will be saying, hey, man, these numbers could be a heck of a lot worse. So,
which leads me to the second question then. We've seen the video and we've heard the reports of what was said in the courthouse. The judge knows the videos intimately. He knows what was said. Even though he wasn't convicted of the other charges, that's in the back of the judge's head, who's a human. Can it factor in the sentencing? Or is it one of those unsaid things that might factor into the sentencing?
You hit the nail on the head. First of all, he's a human, and it's there. And that video of Casey, and she wrote a vicious letter asking the judge to give him significant jail time. And here's another factor that the judge may say. She said, I am currently still in fear of him. And dangerousness as a society is obviously something that factors in. And that video and his violence, whether the judge articulates it or not, Curt, you're absolutely correct. It's hard. for any male, to look at a man beating up on a woman like that, not to put that into the calculus in one way or the other.
So in his letter, I think Diddy says that he's reborn, and he's sober.
Yeah, I'm sure the judge is going to acknowledge that. And I'm sure the judge is going to say, congratulations, and I hope you've turned over a new leaf, and you've done a lot of productive things, and all the charities you've worked for, and all the money you've given, and helping kids. But you screwed up. And you need to be punished, not only for yourself, but to let the whole world know. Now, his punishment could be as low as I'm going to give you 1 extra year in jail or 5 extra years in jail.
How quickly do you think this will happen in the courtroom? Like once they come in and sit down?
Well, look, as a defense attorney, I try to keep my ego in check. But, you can't help but to talk and beg and plead. And sometimes it works. I have had judges tell me I've changed their mind from when they walked into the courtroom until they actually handed down a sentence. But the prosecutor handed down a document over 100 pages about why he should get 11 years. So the judge probably has a pretty good idea where he's going to fall on it. It'll be over an hour. I'm sure Puff, P. Diddy, I date myself when I call him Puffy, right? I'm sure he's very well prepared. Mark Ignifilo, the lead lawyer, will talk. The prosecutors will make it sound like it's the worst crime ever committed. And then the judge will talk. And when the judge is talking, you try to hear what he's saying, but all you like is just give me the number. Like, where are we? He has to give his reasoning, but you want to know what the number is.